It's the Heffron and Reap Bonus Show.
Oh, sweet!
This is the place where the guys upload bonus shows while they're on the road. Sometimes it's just John. Other times it's John and John.
Huh?
Either way, it's all good.
This is right. This is the Heffron and Reap Bonus Show. This would be John Heffron. I am on the road. Don't forget, we're actually doing the Heffron and Reap Show. We're releasing one every Tuesday. Make sure you check out heffronandreap.com to get all of our past episodes, blah, 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 d. But the important thing now is I'm on the road, and I'm right smack dab in the middle. Not even in the middle. I think I'm
we're a third. We're a third in.
Three.
Not even a third. We're a quarter in.
We're quarter of the time in of 5 weeks total of hitting almost every city in Canada. So I decided for this first Heffron and Reap bonus show, why not have Simon on? That's the voice you heard.
Hello.
Who's in charge of all of us. Your title, Simon.
Tour manager.
You'd be the tour manager of the Just for Laughs tour.
Correct.
And also next to Simon, a little bit to the right, sitting on my bed.
Quite comfortably. I made myself at home.
Is obviously
Fully dressed, fully clothed.
Fully clothed is obviously one of the most popular comedians in all of Canada. Because I've been hanging out with her for about 2 days now. And nothing but Abercrombie model-type boys come up to her and talk to her.
It's pretty awesome.
And that would be Deb DiGiovanni.
Yeah.
Now, you realize, okay, let me try to just do your name without getting freaked out.
Don't look at me.
Deb Giovanni.
DiGiovanni.
Why am
know.
How am I fucking it up?
You're missing the D-I.
Yeah, exactly.
You're missing
Deb.
the I.
DiGiovanni.
DiGiovanni.
Perfect.
Deb DiGiovanni.
Perfect.
Twitter at Deb DiGiovanni.
Debra DiGiovanni.
Oh,
I know. Why we all?
So anyway, that's why. So I'm hosting this show, and we have great guys on the show. Up until this point was Deb, was Godfrey. He'll be on the podcast. Orny Adams, hilariously funny.
Amazing.
Super guy. Yeah, he was terrific.
Super funny. Orny will probably be on a little bit later. I don't know what those guys are doing, but I'm hosting, and it's weird when I host shows because I mumble. I'm not good at reading out loud. I think so far, Simon, and then we'll get to the reason why I have Simon on, but I think I hosted a tour before.
You did. I think
out of five guys.
3 or 4 years ago, yeah.
3 or 4 out of 5 guys, how many guys did I say correctly? Their names.
Ooh, it varied on a nightly basis, believe it or not.
There was one comic named Pete Zedlacker.
Yeah.
Canadian.
I could say him.
You can say him.
And then that was about it.
Yeah.
There's some UK guy who hates me. His name's Hal Cruttenden.
Hal Cruttenden.
Why do you guys have?
All you podcasters out there, John, we did about 6 or 7 shows with John.
Right.
And he would bring on every comic. He'd go out and do transition sets, but he'd open up the show, do 10, 15 minutes, and then bring on the comics. Right. Well, Hal Cruttenden, who was a great British comic, John never got Hal's name right. And he actually bailed out on the introductions, go, ladies and gentlemen, our next comic, let's keep it rolling. Hal Cruttenden.
Yeah.
And then we actually have to cue the music to cut John off because we knew that he would butcher the name so badly.
And I got this technique when I can't say the person's name, I start to leave the mic. So what I would do is I would hold the mic like this. These mics are kind of weird because these are the travel mics, but I would go, everyone, please put your hands together for Hal. And then I would turn my head and I would start to walk away. So right about here, I would go, Cruttenden.
And just point at him, and that's how you finish their last name.
I'm very impressed on this show because you actually add some flair to when you're introducing Deb.
Yeah. I can't say your name.
Welcome Godfrey. Welcome
Well,
Orny
Godfrey
Adams.
doesn't even have a last name.
He doesn't.
Great, I love
it.
But
it's please welcome on the stage, Deb DiGiovanni.
Yeah.
He has like a.
You almost had to have a running start to it so we could keep going.
I can't say
Lots
your
of
name. I
syllables.
can't say your name in one thing. I have to stop at every syllable. Deb DiGiovanni.
There you go.
But they see that it's like
He's
like,
actually slapping his leg to stay down top.
Yeah. It's like I speak good. I speak gooder than you. Yeah. So we have that. So one of the reasons why I wanted to have Simon on is today we flew in from wherever we were.
Yeah,
Charlottetown, Prince
Charlottetown.
Edward Island.
And we're in so many cities that you'll notice every night when I go on stage, I don't say what up, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think maybe now it'll start to get easier for me to remember.
Yeah.
But sometimes you get confused.
I know. I'm terrified you're going to say the wrong city, right?
And
That's
you don't want to.
awful.
And you don't want to be that. But we took a private jet today from wherever we were. We landed. immediately when we got off, there was a bus waiting for us. We got onto that bus. The second we got to the hotel, our luggage that was shipped on another van 4 hours earlier was literally pulling up at the corner right when we got off the bus. And the guy who puts all of that together would be this guy, Simon, right here.
Thank you.
Woo-woo.
So I have so many questions for you. One,
fire away.
Let's just do so people are like, who is this guy real quick? How long have you been a tour manager for?
I've been tour managing the Just for Laughs comedy tour for 10 years. This is my 10th tour.
And what other? And you also do a lot of other comics.
I do a lot of comedy in Canada with Just for Laughs. So if they'll do a solo comic tour.
And you finished John Panette. We just
finished about 3.5 weeks with John Panette.
Yep. And your job, what would your job title be? You're in charge of. I look at you. You're the get-go guy. You
He's
have
the
to
comedy
somehow,
wrangler.
If there's 35 cities, somehow there has to be 35 shows with 35 backdrops, with 35
ground transportations, with 35 with 35 flights, with 35 green room catering.
Yeah, I was going to say.
With 35 wake-up calls, with 35 lobby calls, with 35...
And laundry.
Laundry runs, exactly.
Now, I know you probably, obviously, I wouldn't throw you in the bus and have you have names, but you probably have the gamut of comics, because you also do bands too, right?
Yeah, I do. I do a little bit of music stuff,
but mostly comics.
Yeah, a lot of comedy. I enjoy the comedy over the music.
So on a scale 1 to 10, 10 being a complete douchey prima donna, 1 being just you almost even forget the guys on the tour.
Yeah,
you've seen it 10 to 1.
I've seen it 10 to 1. I've seen it 0 to 11.
Oh,
so. Without saying names, what are some of like the prima donna things that you have to deal with?
Example of diva
You don't have to say person.
Okay, no, I won't.
Or we're going to guess who it is, though. We're going to guess.
Diva moment. I mean, it's...
Not diva, but like, I guess, because I have so many questions. Like, what's the almost like the biggest baby move you've dealt with 5 comics traveling every day for 5 weeks?
Sushi wasn't fresh enough.
Whoa.
This was in Vancouver.
Seriously?
So
you guys directly from the ocean.
It was swimming 3 hours ago.
And you guys were eating?
It was in the green room. I thought, hey, we're in one of the sushi capitals of North America.
So you got sushi for the green room.
We got sushi for the green room for 6 comics, and
sushi wasn't fresh enough.
Not done at Sushi or Us around the corner. Done at a nice high-end restaurant. It was a beautiful platter.
Oh.
And
so the person came in, and then usually in the back during this tour we do. I keep saying 35, but it's not. It's let's say 20.
I think it's like 23.
But they're 23. Beautiful theaters. So some really famous theaters. So it's kind of a great setup. You're performing in front of thousands of people.
Nice big houses, like 1,000
people that are used to playing. Normally we have Phantom of the Opera, but tonight, you know what I mean? But tonight, 5 dumb comics are going to get on stage and bitch about stuff.
So that's where Orny found the mask.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. All right.
You didn't like my sing? Nice, uncharted.
You know the words.
I know the words. That one,
Terrifying.
and then because being from Detroit, they used to have commercials for Toronto.
Oh, yes.
All the time from the glorious Pantages Theatre.
Yeah.
And then there was also a song for, it would go, in Ontario, come aboard.
Yours to discover. That's
in
nice.
Ontario, come aboard. Oh,
my God. I don't even remember that. We should know that. Why are we singing along?
Because Deb and I are the token Canadians.
This is it,
on the podcast.
On the tour, too, really.
Yeah, but you forget, like...
You're right. Canadian tour featuring...
But growing up in Detroit, though, I got Canadian television. So, and,
Did you go across the border in Windsor to drink at
when we were 19?
Yeah, sure you did.
Yeah. And then we would call it the Windsor Ballet.
Oh.
Yeah, of course.
Is what it was called.
Of course.
But that's how you can kind of get, like, people
Riverside
say that I
Street.
sound like I have a little bit of Canadian, because you can kind of do a hockey player voice.
Sure.
It's good that we went out, and we're just
I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say any of those words.
And we go out, and then it's when we get back, and we just want to keep the puck out of our zone, and take it one game at a time,
and give 110%.
and give 110%, and just supporting the skate and skate hard. So
that was Diva sushi. I like that.
So then you have like a nice setup, and normally when you do stand up. up and you're just performing at a club, none of this goes down.
No.
But this one that
You maybe get cold fries.
Maybe
Yeah.
that
Maybe.
they make
Half
you pay
off.
half off. Yeah, exactly. So we get spoiled in this where there's a green room area and there's literally just like fruits and whatever and then,
Healthy stuff.
and
Yeah.
then also snacks.
Yep.
Like it's like a lot of nibbling goes down.
Exactly.
And then
No meals,
water,
but it's grazing.
and there's stuff like that. So you put sushi there.
Yeah.
And then somebody said this isn't.
This isn't fresh enough. I mean, this is.
Were they pissy about it? Like I'm not eating this?
Yeah. I mean, and Vancouver's typically at the last stop, and that was a tour where the comics really got fractured. I mean,
really?
Yeah, and.
What do you mean fractured?
And they were just done by the end of it. They hated each other.
I'll give you a perfect example of like a fractured group. We pull into Halifax this morning.
Right.
Okay.
This morning.
Yeah, this morning.
Okay,
Yeah.
so us.
Yeah,
So we're
the
talking
crew
about us
go
then.
up, they drop their bags. So we got to get to the venue to load in, do sound checks, set up the drops and everything. But before we're leaving, I see John, Deb, Arnie all going out for lunch.
Yeah.
As a group.
Yeah.
As a group, and on the tour that you did 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Deb, I swear to you, it was like watching a flock of Canada geese all walk down the street. All 6 comics going for lunch.
And V
They all
formation.
got along. I mean,
and we did it consistently for
Yeah.
5 weeks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's a
Notice
tight-knit
I'm
group.
the
and you know what?
consistent one in there.
Well, see?
John, I mean
You're the glue, John. You're the glue,
I'm serious.
John.
I'm serious, and it actually affects the show when everybody gets along.
Of course, people can tell when you're having fun.
Because now all of a sudden, comics are calling back other comics' material,
yeah.
and it looks as if it's not so much just all right. I'm watching 6 comics. It looks as if it's like
It's a unity.
It's a produced show,
Yeah.
And the
but
crowd
it's not
goes-
produced.
Yeah.
It's not produced.
No.
I mean,
It's just good energy and good good chemistry between comics.
on that tour with Zed Lacker, you were calling back Zed Lacker
Oh,
bits. Danny Boy was calling back
Yeah,
Zed
and
Lacker.
people
David
love it.
O'Doherty was going back after Hal
David
Cruttenden.
O'Doherty. Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing, and I can see this starting to happen. Like I can see you all of a sudden coming out, and even today in soundcheck. I mean, Deb was doing Godfrey.
Yeah.
Arnie was doing Deb. I mean, it was
So wait a minute.
hysterical.
So then that one tour, the fracture tour, like they would get out of the bus and separate.
Gone. See you
Really?
later.
Seriously.
It would get grudgingly into the van for sound check at 5:45.
Yeah.
I would have to, make sure we had separate dressing rooms and
Really?
one common green room. And
We're not even sitting in our dressing rooms. We're just hanging out in
you guys
one
were all
room.
hanging out in the green room.
I didn't know we had.
Me neither. I don't even bother with
Our
that.
own separate stuff, so I had to use the restroom. And then I saw. Yeah.
No, so I mean that group. It's
And then so then they don't talk to each other.
But that's got to make it hard for everybody, though.
it makes it hard. I mean, there were
Van rides, everybody has. Orny Adams even said that today. He goes, because Orny was on the tour with us, and then he's flying out, and Jim Brewer's coming in, who will be on the podcast the next couple ones we do. But Orny goes, you could tell everyone kind of likes each other or is okay with each other because nobody's wearing headphones.
Yeah, right. Immediately,
In the
right?
van,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
nice to see you.
No, that's exactly
I'm checking out. now.
Goodbye.
exactly it. And I mean, having a cohesive unit.
Have you had any almost like
Any fights?
Yeah,
like physical fights?
No, right? No, there's nothing been ever physical, but there's been some
Big arguments?
some backstage arguments.
Seriously?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Over what? Do you even know? Like,
somebody went 30 seconds a minute over time, and
that's it.
it's the smallest spark.
Yeah.
I mean,
sometimes they just need a little something because they're frustrated and angry and it's resentful building up. And
I mean, I'm forcing you guys to be a family for 4 weeks. Like,
Yeah.
you really don't have a choice. Like I have ink on the contract. You can't sit there and say, you know what, I'm blowing off this show.
See you,
No,
suckers. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And then somebody's consistently late for lobby calls, so that means 10 people are sitting in a van.
Yeah,
that would drive
somebody
that would drive me
That
crazy.
would make me insane. I have to tell you that. That
and
pisses
that's
me
the
off.
hardest. That's the hardest thing
Yeah.
for me is that we try and time everything that we give everybody as much downtime as possible. So I don't want to sit in an airport for 2.5 hours because
Right.
it's the safe thing to do to get to the airport.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to the airport. When we need to get to the airport through security. Wait
Right.
10 minutes, board the plane.
Yeah.
So it's. If I know we can leave at 9 o'clock for 11 o'clock flight, we're going to leave at 9. We're not going to leave at 7 so everybody gets up earlier.
Yeah.
And then people are like, what are we doing at the airport so early?
Yeah, 'cause you have- because
you're
with-
being efficient with our time.
That's
is what it is.
exactly
Yeah,
it. 'Cause
yeah.
in essence, I want you guys to just give me the best 20 minutes of the day
Yeah.
that you can.
Yeah.
I don't want you to,
Yeah.
or in some of these cases, 18 minutes, 45
Yeah.
seconds.
Bird! Bird. Oh, got my back.
That was a little bit late tonight, but that's fine. We attribute that to a...
And by the way, they have these shows plotted out like they're launching the space shuttle.
Yeah, I know.
There's not a moment. Like if the show starts at 7, at 7 the first act is on, and at 7, 10, and 30 seconds I'm on, and everybody and there's a person in back who I think they flew out just to write down time. I don't know. She just sits there with her iPhone and she just gets off and she was like, yesterday I got in trouble. I was supposed to do 5 minutes in between acts. Went out there and you got a big laugh, and sometimes you go, okay, that was a big laugh.
Let's go.
It's good to whatever. And she goes, I'm going to need you to do 5. And I go, I walked out there. I said, welcome back. And I did the thing. Goes, it was 375.
Which is actually 415.
But anyway.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. I got to do the Canadian version of time. I had to factor in the...
Oh, God.
Yeah, so now you're like, okay. Yeah.
You know what I wonder? I always, like, when they're choosing the tour...
Yes.
Do they just choose people, or what do they do? Like, do they think people that'll go well together?
Well, I mean, Just for Laughs is based in Montreal, so one of the largest, perhaps the largest comedy festival in the world.
Yeah, still is. Yeah.
So the programmers at Just for Laughs go out and scout.
Yeah.
And they sit there and I mean, this year's show's themed the relationship show.
Right.
That's because we had such a good relationship show at the festival.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
And then they'll look at comics that can do. I don't want to pigeonhole anybody. And say, the John Heffron or Deb DiGiovanni is just a
DiGiovanni.
Exactly, it's just a relationship comedian. I mean, they obviously you guys have broad material, but
we're not doing that much time on the tour.
No,
you know what I mean.
You reach through 20, 22 minutes.
Yeah, you can theme it out, and people like
it. Exactly. And the whole premise of this tour is. I mean, Just for Laughs does their galas on TV, and what we're trying to do is bring the gala into cities that are not Montreal.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, high quality comedians that people have seen on the Just for Laughs TV specials, and want to sort of deliver not a black curtain comedy club show where it's a guy riffing for an hour with the audience. It's give the audience 20 minutes of your best stuff.
Yeah.
And, in the hopes of increasing your exposure.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, who knows? 2-3 years down the road, maybe it's a double threat show. John Heffron, Don Heffron, Debra, doing the exact same cities.
Can I just call her Debra, though? Do I have to say Deb DiGiovanni?
At that point, we'll just
doing the exact same cities.
Yeah.
But
you come back.
Like a co-headline tour.
Yeah.
That's the whole premise of doing it.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing, too. There's something, 20 minutes is really
hard to do.
It's a lovely little set. It's like a teaser set almost.
You know what it is?
Good way to come back and tour again.
When you start off as a stand-up, you just want time. And then you get that 5 or 10 minutes. And then you MC. And then after you get that 5 or 10, you just want to feature. But then you got to do 20.
Yeah.
And then you eventually headline and then whatever. This I haven't done. I'm usually my shows, and I'm on the road 40-some weeks a year. I'm on stage hour and 15.
Yeah.
So this week or these weeks, doing 20...
Seems like nothing for you.
it's so hard because I have bits in my act that are 20 minutes long. So to whatever, so it's a different. And now I'm just up there. Now when I go back to regular comedy clubs and I see a feature act in front of me and doing 20 minutes, and he has time to talk to the audience. How do you have any time to even? Now you see guys because I'm not used to doing that little time. So I see guys that get on stools and they drink and then they look at where you guys from? Like, how in 20 minutes do you have? I literally, I start doing my 20 minutes before I go on stage, and I just walk to the mic. So if you see me on the tour, I just mumbling.
No, yeah.
So when I grab the mic, so what else is going on? I need a running start.
Let me ask you both this: why are you doing this tour?
I did this tour, because I want to hang out with other comics.
Okay.
I literally told my manager this 7-8 months ago. I go, see if I can get on the Just for Laughs tour. I need to change it up.
Okay.
I need to hang out with comics.
Yep.
That you can have the same conversations with. It's not, now sometimes,
and you're working every day.
Yeah, I know there's like young comics like listen to podcasts, and then this is where they think I'm being douchey. But my conversations I have with new guys, I love them. and I give whatever information I can to help them because I had their same problems, or I was trying to figure out what
everyone's
they were
new at some point, right? Yeah.
But here's the deal: you never. Then if you go up to another level, it's like a video game. There's more shit you got to kill, more harder stuff to figure out. So your problems that you have at what the next level, you have to be able to commiserate. How do you say that word?
Commiserate.
And talk to guys that are at your level.
On the same page, right?
And then you go, because if you go, this club, what'd you get for that private gig? Oh, I made this. And if I was to have that conversation, let's say, with somebody new, they'd go, that's more money than I've made. And then they'd be like, hey, Mitt Romney, you're being a dick right now. But everything's proportional. So I wanted to hang out with comics that I could talk to.
Yeah.
I wanted to be in a different city every day, although it's hard just to change things up.
Yeah.
And stuff. So that's why I asked. And the goal was to write new material because it's not the John Heffron show.
Yeah.
This was my theory going in. It's not the John Heffron show, so I can work on new stuff. I'm hosting. I'll do some new stuff in between people. But that it's kind of, I think I was thinking wrong because when you're at a beautiful theater and there's 3,000 people in front of you, you just go,
you're not doing new material.
You're like, I got to bring it.
Not the time to try new stuff.
Because then you have 5 other people eating bad shrimp in the green room. And if you suck it in front of them, then they're all going to talk about you on the bus. So then it turns into, I got to crush in front of them. But that's why.
Why are you doing it, Deb?
See, it's the same thing because we spend a lot of time alone as comedians.
Okay.
So there's something really delightful being able to work with people.
Yeah.
Honestly. And I think, for me, I mean, you don't... When Just for Laughs says you want to do the tour, you're like, it's sort of one of the check marks on your list as a comedian. And I would definitely say for Canadian comedians, definitely, that's sort of like, it's one of the, on the way to the Holy Grail. That's one of the check marks that you go, But I also, for me, it's really because, it's a good teaser for the next tour that I'm hopefully able to do by myself. Do you know what I mean?
I was looking for the word exposure.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. And you see, and that's what I'm saying. The 20 minutes is so nice because you're not doing an hour and then going, okay, in 2013 I have to have a new hour. No. Now it's like
you've got
like,
another hour in the bank.
Exactly. I liked her. Maybe I'll come. If she comes again, I'll come see her. And then,
you can come back next week.
It's always garnering fans too. And that's what's sort of nice, because I'm sure some Canadians kind of go, why are there Americans on the show?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. They don't get a lot of opportunity to perform in Canada.
No.
And then isn't that nice? Because then now they're going to have Canadian fans.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
That
John, changes.
And most of the Just for Laughs tours that I've been on, they've done a really good job of sprinkling.
Well,
There's always you guys have a template. There's always an American host.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Well, last year we had a Canadian host, and
but the British comics though,
and then a British.
You're right.
But so it's almost like the UN.
Yeah.
There's always been like an American,
it is. It's true.
a Canadian.
Yeah.
Some guy from the UK who says he's bigger than he really.
And we'll never know.
Yeah, and then you're like, that's
but
right.
I also think that's very nice for the Canadian audience as well, because then it's the U.S. is coming to them,
exactly,
and they can just sit in Charlottetown and not move. And
they have TV, they have the Comedy Network, so they
have you seen an increase in Twitter or Facebook?
I have not. It's funny. This whole I tweet and I do so much stuff when I'm home or I'm sitting in some city. We've seen some amazing places. I haven't overly did it.
I know we got to.
That's why I'm trying to jump on Deb's fans.
Okay. Yeah.
I've seen her fans.
Yeah.
And if here's what a lot of comics I think don't do correctly, or there's groups that I think comics need to. You need to find people that you enjoy as a comic that their fans could
mesh
share.
with your fans.
Get people who like Deb would like me,
absolutely,
and vice versa.
Absolutely,
it's the same. It's the same. It's the same group. So then you start sharing.
Facebook or Twitter?
Yeah, I would say the same thing too. And you know what I've even found?
It hasn't blown up yet, or you've said, you know what? I'm adding.
You know what I did today?
50, 100, 150 people a day.
Well, you see, this is the thing. I haven't noticed a big jump up, but that's only because I've only just got my iPhone and it doesn't actually tell you. But this
and
is
we've
what
only
I
done
have
4
noticing.
cities. We've only done 4 cities.
By the way, I just learned this today.
Don't say it. Don't.
Can I?
Are you going to say it? Say it.
How would you not want to say this? So Deb has an iPhone.
Oh, God.
Just what iPhone do you have? Just a couple years old?
It is, yeah. What's the last one? The 4 or whatever?
Okay, so we're in the 4 and we're driving, and then Orny Adams says, hey, send me that picture you took.
Okay.
So she goes, well, I have to wait till I get back to my thing. He goes, send it from your phone. And then she goes, well, I can't.
And
he takes her phone, he goes, and then he hits the mail button on the iPhone, and it gives you a list You remember when you first get your iPhone 100 years ago when it shows?
I'm still on BlackBerry Dinosaur.
Okay, well, long story short, for those of you listening, Deb's had her phone for 3 years and has not set up her mail on her iPhone.
Well, here's the problem.
And then she's like, I didn't know how to do it. How do you not set up the mail on your iPhone?
Because I don't read instructions. I turn it on and go, there's
That's
Twitter.
the craziest thing.
I'm pitiful.
That's
I'm
like
not proud
having a
of myself.
refrigerator, not plugging it in and going, I don't really...
There's a freezer?
Yeah,
There's a freezer.
I can't keep myself cold with that. I didn't know.
This now closes the loop on why Deb texted me when she was coming into Moncton. I'm like, why did she text me? Like, why didn't she just email me or,
Oh, God.
or I mean.
Oh, my Lord.
So
She's
now
never
I know.
set that up.
It was like a 2-page text also.
But
like, why couldn't you just email this from her computer? I'm not understanding.
Did not have her mail. And then I go, well, she just got, maybe it's the 5. She had to leave for the tour. She just we've been flying every day. And then she's like, I've had it for 3 years. Here's what she did. She hit the Safari, went to Safari on her phone, logged in her password and email every time on her phone.
This is just between us three and
Exactly.
what, 20,000, 30,000
Yeah,
listeners?
whatever.
It's fine. Yeah.
I know. But I got it now.
Exactly.
It's just it. I'm
Because
a whole new
Deb
person.
actually has a podcast.
Apple Genius, please call Deb DiGiovanni.
Yeah, please. Hello. Yep.
Yeah, if we do this podcast or Deb's version in her room, what she does is she gets a piece of paper and then she writes out a question and then she hands you the piece of paper
and say,
then
pass it over.
and then you have to write something.
Yes.
So we're keeping a written journal. And then
I have a chalkboard.
Deb will mail you the
chalkboard.
journal. And then when you're done reading the
I actually
journal.
thought it was slate and hammer. As I walk by your hotel room, I hear her chipping away.
Oh, my God.
Writing down her set list.
You guys.
So Simon, on daily, because I want to pull this back to, there's so many people who have who travel, right, who take family vacations, and it's brutal. When I'm on airlines, I see just dad who just looks beat on. He's got like a baby stroller, a backpack. He's holding a kid. His wife's bitching, and people have a hard time traveling. I remember as a kid, my parents traveling.
In groups too, it's hard.
Difficult.
Yeah.
And so you have to. What is a normal day? Let's say tomorrow, from wake up to go to bed. Without, we don't have a show tomorrow, but just what? How much shit do you have to do tomorrow that me and the other comics wouldn't even notice? And somehow it magically gets done.
Before I go to sleep tonight, I'm going to check and make sure that our flight is actually
on time.
Yeah.
So how many people do you have to check?
12? We're a traveling motley crew of 10 people.
So 10. Okay,
right,
so it's 10 people.
Okay, so I'm going to check and make sure that the plane is actually going to be in Halifax so we can take it into Toronto. So it'll be on time. I'm going to make sure that I set my own wake-up call. I've already given you guys day sheets. Every day I give them a sheet of paper that says, all right, we got a lobby call at this time. We're leaving on this flight. Here's the hotel. Here's the venue. Here's sound check time, show time. Here's the pacing for the show. John, you're opening. Deb, you're closing, and so forth.
Right.
I'm going to reconfirm tonight with the bus company to make sure that at 10 a.m. there's a bus for us to take us to the airport.
Right.
I mean, somebody might think, well, why don't you just hop in cabs? I mean, we're carrying a lot of bags. Like when you're on the road for 5 weeks, it's not, all right, let's bring the rolly bag and throw it up in the plane.
So you check us into the Tuesday.
Everybody's already pre-checked in, so you all have your.
So you have to print up all of our
boarding passes. Already printed.
He prints up our boarding passes. We bring our luggage down. That gets thrown on a van.
Yep.
So what else you have to do? So we have check it in luggage.
I'm calling the hotel that in Toronto. In Toronto tonight to make sure that reconfirming the reservations. They're already done, but you never know. Somebody could hit Control-Alt-Delete and they're not there anymore.
Right.
So, reconfirming the ground transportation that we're going to have in Toronto to make sure that when we get off the plane that somebody's actually picking us up and getting us to the hotel. And then I'm typically working about 5 days ahead of time. So tomorrow I'll start advancing stuff for Winnipeg.
Oh, okay.
Which is in about 5 or 6 days' time.
Yeah. Oh.
Have you ever had a comic like I want to hear some more horror stories.
Me too.
Have you had out of 5 guys? Ever have a guy not show up at a show?
Yeah, not at a show. They were always good for a show. We've had a couple of people miss
flights and stuff.
Well, drastically miss lobby calls, to the point of.
And you guys just leave them there.
Well,
lobby call 9:45. It's 10:15. Now everybody in the van.
At 10 o'clock, I'm calling a hotel room. 10 o'clock, I'm calling a hotel room. If they're not answering the phone, it's all right. I need to make a decision. I need to make a decision of. All right, do I send everybody at the airport, and I'll stay behind.
Right.
Find whoever it is.
Yeah.
Take a later flight. Tomorrow's on a show day, so we'd be fine. On a show day, I mean, this tour is so...
I mean, really, like, we have a day off tomorrow, but then we go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then we have Sunday off.
Sunday's a travel day.
Oh, so, yeah, Sunday's a travel day. It's not really off.
So, I mean, it's not off. Yeah. And then, I mean, we're in Canada in the winter. I mean, flights get canceled.
Oh, yeah.
Flights get,
Yeah. And we just had Hurricane Sandy.
We've got to de-ice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's people have missed lobby calls, and I mean, we've never lost anybody. I mean,
nobody ever just.
But have you ever had to like send people on different flights because they were so late?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the reasoning behind that? What do they tell you? What's the? I slept in my call.
You never had out of all the years, 10 years, you've never had someone just get too like shit faced to get on stage, like, or is that
no.
You probably wouldn't screw up with a Montreal tour or Just for Laughs tour because
it's career suicide.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like that is a blacklisted situation.
Yeah. No, and I mean that's
and the caliber of comics that you would have on it would be.
Yeah, these aren't newbies that are getting drunk and
exactly. I'm more funny after 9 beers. That doesn't happen. No, it doesn't happen.
Is that not true? Does that not work? Oh, right. Good to know.
Don't know.
I'm just trying to think because you having 5, dealing with all the comics, getting them someplace every day, that's probably no different than dealing with a group of kids.
I was going to say, it's like you're a family man.
Well, I call it herding cats.
Aw, cute.
I mean, you drop 10 cats or kittens in a room, they're not all going to sit there and say, all right, Mom, where are we going? You're like, hey, what's over here? What's over there?
Right.
And I say that when I bring you,
we're easily distracted.
When I bring you guys after the show out to for the autograph session, I invariably I lose 1 or 2. Godfrey wanders off because
I've seen you lose people.
Look, a water
it's funny.
fountain.
You have
Sparkly.
or the
sparkly.
Or
there's
the
a
van,
light over there.
The van will be parked, and you start to walk out to the van, and then at the corner of your eye, somebody will see a Starbucks, and then that person will just disappear and start drifting off. And you're like,
true.
where'd that guy go? He's going to Starbucks.
That's exactly it.
And then you're like, get him back to the van. We're like, will you pick me up a chai tea? He was just like, so we're totally. And now you're 10 minutes late, which then throw.
But
so you got to be going crazy.
I attribute that because when you guys go out and do your improv dates and your club dates and so forth, you're by yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you get on the plane.
Right.
Well, everything about comedy is solitary, right? So it's very much only worry about yourself.
That's exactly it. And all of a sudden, I'm like, no, guys, we can't leave because we have to wait for another person. You're like, are you kidding me? Really? I'm in the van. I'm about to tell the driver we're going. I'm like, no, we only need to play nice in the sandbox, okay?
Yeah, so that probably, if we were to give, advice, which for people who travel with their family, that'd probably be one of the biggest ones, is you set up a hard out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, like you guys said it to us, but I've said it to my family. 7 a.m. means backing out of the effing driveway at 7 a.m. It doesn't mean I'm waking up at 7. I'm getting breakfast.
Oh my God,
I'm making toast.
I remember.
I'm gonna let me look at my computer. 7 a.m. means backing out of the driveway.
I have a big family. Like my family, there's 7 people in my family, so it was pretty much like a Just for Laughs tour whenever we'd go on vacation. And I remember like when we got a little older. Like I think I was about 13, and one of my sisters was 15, and she was the shit disturber. And I remember one vacation, it was fantastic. We were supposed to go at 7 o'clock in the morning. Erica is not even home. She's not home yet. And then my dad is having just a meltdown, right? And he's going crazy. And it's 7:15. It's 8 o'clock. And then Erica, one of her friends, rolls up in a car. And Erica, open the back door. She falls out of the car in a puff of smoke with a bunch of boys in the car. Let's go on vacation. And they were like, oh, get in the car. And then we're all in the station wagon. And we're going to drive for 17 hours. So that's pretty much Just for Laughs tour right there. That's
hey, listen, there have been days, John, where I've wanted to run down to the hardware store and buy like that 20-foot piece of rope.
Oh my God.
And tie knots in it. And literally say, John, here's your knot. Hold on to the knot. Deb, your knot. And I will
just walk down the street. Remember that commercial? Quack, quack, wada, wada. Quack, quack, wada, wada.
That's exactly it.
Where we have buddies that we all have to have a little link hands with your buddy.
And at any given time, Deb, I can say, buddy up. Did you remember that? You remember that at camp? You're in the lake, and the lifeguards say, buddy up. And you have
to grab somebody. My God, we're not drowning.
Exactly.
That's so funny.
Oh, my God.
So hard out. Parents should have like some type of sheet.
Absolutely.
Like what?
Oh my God! What
a date for vacation.
So the kids,
905 Mona Lisa.
Yeah. Oh,
exactly.
That was my father. Totally.
And then that way the kids, because that's the biggest thing is, especially if you have a young kid, the perception of time isn't there. That's why kids go, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Because I think
because a half an hour feels like forever to them.
Up until 6, I think their brains they can't process the actual time like that. Their brain is just, so when you go, we'll be there soon or whatever, that's why they keep asking you. Yeah. Where I've seen friends of mine who have kids, whatever their kid's favorite show is, let's say Dora, they go 2 Doras.
Oh.
Or how long will it take you there? Like 1 Cars, video.
Exactly. Finding Nemo.
And then the kid will go, kind of goes, okay, so they put it in.
I'm learning. This might work with comedians.
Oh, that's what
I could say that.
He's going to look at that tomorrow.
No, I'm going to say that. Hey, I can see you. Hey, Simon, how far is the airport? Just 1 Godfrey set.
Yeah.
1 Godfrey set and we're there.
Yeah, and then you go, oh, okay, totally. Yeah.
All right, everybody, it's 2 Walking Deads. 2 Walking Deads. All right, okay.
There we go. It's exactly. It's kind of. Hey, we're supposed to do a little, Cheers, but you ended up doing a Breaking Bad. What took forever?
One of the HBO shows. Oh, they're 45 minutes. Oh no. We're screwed.
So you had. I can't believe you haven't had a fight. You've had screaming.
There's been
some gossip now.
It's been hateful words said.
Oh,
to the point of
ever with the MC. No, I mean like the host. I hate like the host and the person, because I could see if I was pissy with somebody, I could see where that part of the show would be ran into the ground.
You could affect it. Really.
Yeah, because if everybody, not me personally, but just my role of being the guest host.
Because you're the ringmaster,
so
right? Yeah.
If DiGiovanni,
oh yeah,
didn't get along with Godfrey, okay. They do, but let's say they did. They could technically do the tour and not even have contact because me as the host,
absolutely,
I'm in. But if I don't get along with Deb, and I have to introduce her every night, that's where it would be. You think I give bad mumbling intros to people I like? You know what I mean? Wait until.
I think that sort of energy. I think the crowd can pick up on that because you were saying earlier, Simon. I think the crowd loves it when it looks like everyone's friends.
Well, and
do you know what I mean? Seriously,
it's polished.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I mean. John, you're running off. John giving Deb high fives and big hugs, and I mean,
it makes a difference.
It makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
People can tell when you're having fun. That sounds so cheesy, but it's so true. People can tell when you're having fun.
Yeah.
Do you know? Yeah,
exactly.
I think it's a nice grouping. We haven't had Brewer yet, but I think that's just going to be fun.
He'll be good.
Yeah,
he's super friendly.
Good,
super friendly. I don't like.
And we're all the same age too, so it's not like any of us are out like let's party every night. No. We're like let's go to bed at a reasonable hour.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I've called my wife or texted her right about this time every night, and she's like, "So you guys like hanging out, or you just kind of?" I'm like, "No," and then she's totally
we have a bowl of soup and go to bed.
Yeah. She like thinks like I'm lying to her. She's not realizing I was at some store buying protein shakes. I'm just in my room shaking a protein shake.
That big
I'm working out with this
John showed us his workout
bag.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to pack this trip. I was like asking John Reap, the guy I do the podcast with. I was like, hey, how much clothes should I bring? How should I?
See, I'm so lucky because we go home tomorrow for me.
Deb you get
right. So this week we leave from Toronto every day. Yep. So I showed up with a little
real
suitcase.
Tour starts
really.
Winnipeg.
It's absolutely because then but still only 2 weeks though. They'll have gone through like 3 loads of laundry already. So
I brought enough. I brought enough socks. I bought 13 pairs of socks, and so far every night I've left the ones I wore that night in the hotel. And then I figure at the end of 12, I buy a new bag.
You sound like Prince. You only wear your socks once.
Seriously.
Stop it. That's your new thing.
Yeah. And I brought enough things. I don't like my clothes. I might send most of them back to the U.S. and just start over.
With your new Canadian wardrobe.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be great.
Get them some roots
A lot
gear.
of roots, lots of plaid, flannel. That'll be really nice.
I wear all
Lululemon pants. Yep. Oh, come on, John.
I love Lululemon pants. We were talking about
those.
We were talking about that before. Yeah. We're going to hook you up.
Lululemon pants are literally, I think, one of the greatest inventions. And every girl
Men do
wears
seem
them.
to enjoy them. Yeah.
Yeah.
They make every
Do you want to
girl's
hear this?
ass
There are
look
some
unbelievable.
schools in Ontario that
Won't let
they're
him.
banning Lululemon pants.
Really?
Because they just are like, the boys cannot concentrate when the girls are wearing Lululemon.
You know what it is with that, though? It's the creepy 50-year-old principal.
Yeah,
who
exactly. I meant the gym teacher, actually, what I meant.
It's not the kids or whatever. It's always like I'm
the guidance counselor.
I'm a 50-year-old teacher, and this young girl has too much power over me.
Exactly.
So we need to cover her up because I can't
15-year-old
control.
girls, they're at the most powerful, like between 15 and 18. It's terrifying.
That's why those
and they have
people
no
come-
idea.
They have nothing to do with the teenage boys. It's all those gross ass teachers looking at the pants.
Absolutely.
Hands down. That's exactly
Fantastic.
in Ontario.
Oh my gosh. I'm very impressed. with that.
It was Come Aboard, right?
Yes.
Yep, it was.
I remember the thing. Yeah, in Ontario, come aboard.
Oh no, I was going Love Boat there for a second. Come aboard. We're expecting you.
Yeah, I think I'm getting both of them.
I think you're doing a combo now, but it's good. It's
Now
still
I'm going to have to go online tonight and look.
It's still good.
Now that I look back, I guess they were just promoting Ontario as a province.
Yeah. Tourism Ontario, probably.
Yeah.
Have you been to Toronto?
Yes. We used to take, you go on a class trip in 7th grade.
Oh, sure.
You go to Toronto.
Nice.
And you take that train. So where I grew up, going to, if you say the word Toronto, it brings back some happy memories because that's where you maybe touched girls' private parts.
Because you're on an overnight field trip.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah.
That was like
Nice.
maybe the 8th grade trip.
Yeah.
And there was like 50
Spin
kids.
the bottle. Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
50 kids, 2 chaperones.
Yeah.
And now that you're older, you realize.
And the chaperones were drinking.
Yeah.
Right?
If you figure out the math, the chaperones were 30-year-old parents. So now it's probably so-and-so's dad is hooking up with so-and-so's mom because they decided. Now you figure it out. This wasn't a class trip. It was a way for all the parents to cheat on each other.
Oh, my God.
But they're using you as like the Ponzi
It was a
scheme.
swingers party. It wasn't at all.
Now
They
that
put
you think
keys
about
into
it,
a bag. We're like, what's going on?
I'm literally selling candy bars to make money to go to Toronto so some dude's dad could get laid. It's the craziest. And then we'd go to, I think we got in trouble for trying to throw pennies off the
CN Tower?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think,
Really?
yeah.
Because apparently it can kill someone.
Terminal velocity. Right?
Terminal velocity.
Yeah, well, you put that in our head the whole way. So,
and then all you want to do is throw a penny off that CN Tower.
And then also to get from to Toronto, you could get like the sweet package. It was the train ride, Phantom of the Opera, and then a hotel. Maybe for like I don't remember, but it was like $300, let's say, which was a lot of money if you're 19.
Yeah.
But that was like the Mac Daddy move. You would meet a girl or whatever, and then you'd go let's go to Toronto. And you would get on the train, and then you felt like an adult.
Yeah.
And then you'd get there, and then you buy cigars that were illegal.
You could drink. You could drink. Yep.
And so it was so
It's beautiful.
You'd order wine.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it was
Jackson Triggs.
It was literally like the
Comes
first
from a box.
Yeah.
Hello.
Naked
Classy.
Yeah, it was the first time you felt like
like an adult human.
Yeah, but like I said,
Exciting.
growing up in Detroit, we had Canadian television. This is pre-cable. Now I'm going to sound like I'm a 100-year-old man. But it was yeah. And then I think you guys had the show Prisoner at Cell Block H. Benny Hill. Did you guys have Benny Hill?
Benny Hill, yeah.
And then I'm
Littlest
from like
Hobo.
Degrassi Junior High, but like the original version.
Yeah, the real one with wheels.
And then when Nickelodeon first
Wheels,
came on,
right.
Yeah,
with You Can't Do That on television.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
Alanis
geez.
Morissette. Yeah.
And then the chef that ate with really crappy teeth.
My prom date.
What?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Wait, what?
You went to the prom with Alanis
took Alanis
Morissette?
Morissette to my
Oh my
prom.
God, this is the greatest news I've ever heard in my life.
What the what?
What?
If I was doing my podcast, people who listen to my podcast normally would go, "Holy shit!" If Heffron was back, we're doing it. He'd be playing an Alanis Morissette song underneath you right now.
Get out.
Yeah, she went to high school with me at the
Hey.
Collegiate in Ottawa.
Like, are you still pals? Like if you saw each other, you'd be like, "Hey, Alanis,"
Oh yeah,
you'd have a
definitely.
little hello.
Definitely.
Get out.
Definitely.
Can you call her right now?
like
Can she be on the
that.
podcast?
Oh my God. 6 degrees of Canadian
I'm
fame.
still good
right
friends
there.
with her brother, her brother's
Get
brother's
out.
wife. Yeah.
Love that. Look at you. We want to see pictures. We want to see prom pictures. Desperately.
Now, this was pre-anger, though. This was pre.
Oh, was this? This is when she was a nice girl.
This is pre-
This is when she was never too hot.
No,
never too cold.
Oh no.
That is crazy. You went to prom with Alanis Morissette.
Yeah.
That's some like groundbreaking news.
That's pretty good, actually. I was going to say.
Why didn't we bust out with that? Like
We
that should have been the
started on
first thing out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Hey, we're
But
Simon, tour manager,
went to-
who
yeah.
also went to prom with Alanis Morissette. Today I actually thought about Alanis Morissette before our flight, and I know she might be the last person I think about if I ever die because of that effing song. I just always every time I'm on the thing, and as my plane is going down, I have this vision that I would go, and isn't this nice? To take that flight, and the plane went down. She said, "Isn't that nice?" That's literally. So I actually had her in my thoughts
there
today
you go.
before we got on that little.
Hey,
See, small world.
wasn't it crazy that we walked into the airport today? What song were they playing?
Oh my God, yeah.
Not even like you couldn't even joke about it. Like I wish we had video. We were on a small
9-seat plane.
Yeah.
9-seat
9-seat
plane.
that we chartered.
Beach King 100, great plane, great pilot.
Blaring before you walked outside was Richie Valens,
Yeah.
La Bamba.
La Bamba.
Right before I'm like, we
very
look at each
much.
other, we go, are they doing this on purpose?
Yeah, and I had that moment. I was like, I'm the big bopper, aren't I? Aren't I? I'm the big bopper. God damn it.
Yeah. So you went out.
Yeah, that was weird. You should never play that.
Listen, up, down, 25 minutes. Everybody felt like royalty.
Yeah.
It was great.
That was pretty wicked, actually.
It was.
I have to say, that was pretty
no
cool.
security.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was nice.
Blah, 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 black
Blah,
to Alanis.
blah, blah.
How do we just leave that? You can't,
No, it's
So you went.
it's not a claim to fame. It's
how old? So you guys were young.
Well, what? I think
Grade 19. You guys call
I
it
was
grades.
18. She was probably 16.
Cute.
Maybe
So-
it was 18, 17. Type.
Did she
Nice.
sing back then?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she had
She
just
was kind
recorded
of
her first-
famous. She was kind of famous back then, if I
Like
remember.
she was even as a young girl.
Being
Like,
part
as
of
a
my
kid.
Alanis
Yeah,
Morissette.
She was on. You can't do that on
She was
television.
You can't do that on television. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and then she did her dance hit pretty young too.
Yeah, dance hit.
Yeah,
and
so-
then she moved to Toronto, got hooked up with some great producers, and then
Met Dave Coulier.
yes.
He broke
At
her
some
heart,
point.
and then she wrote that awesome album. That was a good album. Don't kid yourself. That was good. Jagged Little Pill was pretty
11,
wicked.
12, number one hit.
You know who I want to date?
Ooh.
I think I want Alanis Morissette and Adele
Oh yeah.
to have like a lesbian thing.
Yeah. You want them to date? Oh, okay.
And then I want them to break up.
and then write songs.
And then-
Oh my God, it's gonna
could
be.
you imagine?
It would be
could
fantastic.
you imagine that too?
Yeah, that would
If
be.
they dated each other and then split off, pissed off at each other,
Be like
Grammys for everybody.
Woman-hating songs.
Yeah. It would be.
or throw some Eminem in there.
Ugh.
Like they have like a little three-way. Oh, those 3 albums would be the greatest. He would just be bashing them Eminem style, and then they would be.
That would be. Look at that. I like how you're thinking. This is such a, if we can get people together and break them up, they're going to be artists like
You gotta do it.
crazy.
You gotta have pain.
Very nice.
So we learned something about Simon. We learned he
Yep.
dated. I have a story. Where I used
Not
to,
date. No, we were.
you went to prom.
Friends?
We
Yeah,
were friends.
friends.
You went to
We
prom.
were friends. Yeah.
Yeah. So you went to prom. You bought her a corsage.
Did.
Oh.
Did you put it on her?
It was a wrist one.
Oh, wrist run. Yeah,
It was
they
a
were
wrist
cool.
one,
They were
right?
cool.
Yeah,
You
like
didn't
a
get
wrist
to touch
one.
boob?
Yeah, you don't want to print pins.
My only experience with her when I used to do radio in Detroit, she did a concert. They had a private meet and greet. I get to the room early because I was part of the radio station,
Yeah.
and it's just me and her. And she stared. I looked at her. I didn't say anything because I didn't know if I would get in trouble talking to her. And then I had to go shake her hand. So my boss came in and goes, go say, hi or whatever. And I walked over to her and I put out my hand. And here's what I said to her.
Good. I'm looking forward to this.
I go, way to be you.
Oh my God.
Nice. Hey, nothing wrong with that.
And then she goes, thank you. and then I walked away from her.
Oh my God.
So if anybody's listening to this podcast, there's no way
Way to be you.
Yeah. Can you guys tweet Alanis Morissette and just say, way to be you?
Yeah.
Via at John Heffron. Just to see. There's no way she remembers. I mean, it's
God.
one guy talking to her out of a billion concerts. But yeah, just go Alanis Morissette, way to be you, at John Heffron.
I like it.
All right, so we got some. Before we go, Deb DiGiovanni.
Yeah.
I'm saying it wrong.
You're getting it good now. You're all warmed up. You got it.
Deb's killing on this tour, right?
I'm telling. Oh yeah.
Here's the deal with Deb.
She is.
We've gone out to eat twice now.
Yeah.
We've had people bow to us. Not to us. Look at Deb.
Yeah.
They bow to us.
Yeah.
We were at some restaurant yesterday eating.
Yeah.
Private little corner down in the thing. Literally, I think that every guy who looks like One Republic. Is that the name of those kids?
One Direction.
One Direction.
One Republic is somebody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. One Republic is too late to apologize. So One Direction. There's these spiky hair kids. Everybody's got an eagle on their T-shirts.
Nice.
Or like a number, a random number. But a lot of Abercrombie and Fitch kids love her. And like the guys would just come and they'd be like, and
Because it's because I work on a music show in Canada, right?
Oh,
so that's
is that why?
it. That's what it is.
You have a demo that you're literally.
It is. It's they're teenagers because I work on a show called Video on Trial in Canada, and it's on our Much Music, which was like established before MTV in Canada, right?
I love. By the way, Much Music. Last night I watched it. They had an '80s thing, so they would show like Bryan Adams in an interview.
Yeah,
like,
lovely.
I'm 25. I just hope things work out for me, and then it's.
I think they work out actually.
Yeah,
Brian.
I think so.
In your life, you found someone.
Exactly.
That's a
Hello, Mansion in London. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I that's I have a young kind of following, so it's pretty cool. And
You
this
see
is,
it, and then on Twitter.
yeah, this is famous for Canada though. Come on. It's not exactly
good,
the
though.
same
It's
thing. I'm lucky though. I'm very lucky. Yeah, that show's
Match Game, you're on Match Game?
Yeah, and Match Game now on Comedy
very
Network. But
funny
that
new
show is that they've done me very well. That's
Yeah?
I'm very very pleased by that. So, yeah.
What do you hate most about touring?
Well, I miss my cat. I think most of us like to be just home. You know what I mean? Like, it's so stupid because I live by myself. It's not like I do awesome things, but there's still just that desire sometimes to just be home. And I don't know how else to explain it. Like, there are just days where you're like, I just want to be in my own apartment. I just want to be in my own. I don't know why. Not yet, though.
No.
I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
That'll be like week 3. Usually it's around like day 14, 16 or so, where I start going, I just feel like being home. And that's it.
And you know
That's
what?
all.
A lot of times it's not just a tour. It's like, I've done stand-up for 23 years, but I've been on the road since before May.
Yeah.
It's not, let's say, it's not whatever happens tomorrow at this time.
Yeah.
It's maybe 3 years of a similar situation where you go, okay, I've had enough of this.
Yeah.
This is what. So,
Not me. See, I'm the opposite. When I get home, if I'm home for more than 3 days, I start re-alphabetizing my DVDs. My lead actor. I will supporting actress.
I will eat lunch at 7:05. I will probably wake
I get
up.
bored, John.
You go stand in random lobbies of hotels. Just telling people. Do you got a group of people of like more than 5? Do you want me to
Everybody,
Do you want me to organize them? I could totally organize them. You go into shelters. Do you have any cats?
This might be
You need
my
about
life.
10
I can
cats.
see myself like at 65 organizing seniors tours.
Oh, my
and like
God.
being the seniors.
I love this already.
Exactly.
This is fantastic.
Maple, don't forget your Depends. You forgot on the bus yesterday.
You joke about that, but I've been joking about going, when I'm like 60, 65, I'll probably still be doing comedy if I still have a brain and I can remember. But I'm not going to be performing for old people because I'll be performing for people my age.
Yeah.
So
they'll just be people.
I perform in front of people my own age now.
Yeah.
And then when I'm 65, I will. The show will probably be at 1 p.m. Do you know what I mean?
So then you all go for an early bird special.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
so
be in bed by 7:30.
Yeah, my 50s might be a little rough.
Jared Tall available at the concession stand.
Ovaltine. I guess.
But you realize what you
Second
do
time
for a
Ovaltine.
living. I mean, you can 100%. That's not non-realistic. That will always. You can get a. You know what I mean?
But what I like about tour, I like to be on stage.
Because you'll be that age. It's not like going, I have to hang out with old people. You'll be old.
Yeah, you'll just
You
be
know
one
what
of
I
the
mean?
people.
Yeah, so it's
That's
not.
it.
Yeah, it's not.
Like you like being on the road. I like being on stage. I want to be on stage as much as possible all the time.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about this kind of tour where it's just bang, 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 bang. I love that. Like my days off, I will do sets because I have a show Monday night in Toronto because I just want to,
Yeah.
So that's what I love about it because it's just so much stage time, which is fantastic. And that's what we want to do.
That's what you guys need.
Yeah.
I love doing these tours because I always try and pick the comedian's brain, saying, "All right, worst gig ever.
Yeah.
How did you I'm not looking to get into it at all, but I'm not coming to anybody for advice, but how to get into it.
But everyone's got so different stories, though, too. That's the thing.
The common theme is, hey, grab as much stage time as you can. Listen,
Right.
if it's in the corner of Starbucks
Doesn't
and
matter
they
what
give
it
you
is.
a free coffee to do 15 minutes, take it.
I know that's true,
Take
though.
it.
When young kids are always like, what do you do? I'm like, all you need to do is get on stage. But then, no, all you need to do is get on stage. But
They
just
always
get on
ask big
stage.
questions. They always go that, and then, well, how do you get an agent? Like, you're asking... The
You don't
bigger
need to ask
questions
that
you
yet.
ask,
Yeah.
the more specific questions you ask, the quicker you get answers, and that helps. This big, it's like going, how do I get famous? That's too big a question.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry about that yet. It's just do stand up. Just work on the craft, and then worry about everything else.
You know what, Deb? I had so many other questions for you.
Yeah.
Then I just realized we have 5 more weeks together.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
So
we'll do this. We'll do more. We'll have part 2.
We don't need to shoot the wad tonight. I think this was good.
I think we're okay.
We learned a lot.
Good deal.
For those of you who have kids.
Close your eyes at that moment.
Yeah. You just saw her. She just went. So, and then we learned that if you're going on vacation with your family, maybe make a one-sheeter.
Make a one-sheeter.
Give it to your kids.
Yep. Get everybody's input. But then you make the final decision.
Good deal.
So you're saying that they should make a sheet that says, here's our vacation plan.
Yeah.
And then you go, here's our hotel. And then maybe they can put on there,
I
it's
want
got
to
a
swim at
pool.
4 o'clock.
And then
Kids
go.
look forward to something. They might be dragged around the
They gotta
art
go to-
museum from like 1 to 4, but there's something.
Right.
And they know because it's on the schedule, right?
And then they know.
And I learned today that when I see showtime at 7 o'clock, that's your pool time.
Yeah,
That's the
it.
comedian's
Yeah,
pool time.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's good.
Don't want to get on this flight. Don't want to be in this bus. But I get pool time at 7.
Okay.
Nice.
That's good.
So we're going to be doing a bunch of these. If you're listening, if we found you as a fan at any of the Just for Laugh stops that I've been plugging on stage, and you want to say hello to us, you can hashtag JFL Tour 2012. Just say hello. Trust us. We're in our hotel rooms.
Yeah.
And you might find us on the day we don't want to talk to each other. So Deb will respond to you, especially if you're a 20-year-old guy who wears Axe body spray. She will be all over you, so feel free to say hello to her. And we will probably be uploading a new one in a couple of days. So until then, go out and have a wonderful life. And then we'll see you in a few.
Play it safe, was afraid to fly. He packed his suitcase, kissed his kids goodbye. He waited his whole damn life to take that flight. And as the plane crashed down, he thought, well, isn't this nice? And isn't it ironic? Don't you think? It's like
Go to heffronandreap.com for tour dates and great links. Hey, did you get that? It's heffronandreap.com. Go there now.